Hi Year 4, it's Miss Atkin. This afternoon we have got another RE lesson. So our key question for RE this term is, how do people express their religious and spiritual ideas on pilgrimages? So our RE learning is going to help us try and answer this question. The first thing I want you to do is think about what you learned from our last RE lesson. What did you do and what did you learn from it? So you can pause the video to have a think now. Last RE lesson, we were researching religious pilgrimages. So we did some Google searches and searched which religions have pilgrimages, and we looked at what Christians do on a pilgrimage and what Muslims do on a pilgrimage, and you made some beautiful posters of everything you learnt from all your research. Today we are going to be focusing on Muslim pilgrimages. So from what you did in your research or from what you already know, pause the video and think about what you know about Muslim pilgrimages. What do they do? Where do they go? Anything like that. So you can pause the video now to have a think and get those ideas fresh in your head. In Islam, there are three different types of Muslims. There are Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, and Sufi Muslims. Pilgrimage is important to all three of these groups. There are pilgrimages that each group take that are different, but the Hajj is one they all go on. And that's because it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Islam is made up of the five pillars, and the Hajj is one of these, so it's very important to all Muslims. The Hajj pilgrimage is in Saudi Arabia. It's in a place called Mecca, and they travel to some different places as well, but it's in Saudi Arabia. According to the Quran, elements of the Hajj trace back to the time of Abraham around 2000 BC. Muslims believe that Abraham was ordered by God to leave his wife, Hagar, and his son Ishmael alone in the desert of ancient Mecca. Hagar desperately ran 7 times between the 2 hills of Safa and Marwa to find water, but she didn't find any. When she came back to Ishmael, he was scratching the ground with his leg and a water fountain appeared. And Abraham was commanded to build the Kabah and invite people to pilgrimage there. So this is kind of a background on the Hajj. When people go to the Hajj, when they pilgrimage there, they travel from across the world all the way to Mecca, and most people come by plane because they're coming from foreign countries. Pilgrims wear this item of clothing called the ihram, and it's white cloth. It's mainly men that wear it, and women can wear whatever they like, but most women choose to wear white. And this is so that all people are equal, so you wouldn't know if anyone's rich or poor. It's to make all people equal. The first thing that Muslims do on their pilgrimage is walk 7 times anti-clockwise around the Kabah. This is known as the Tower. So the Kabah is the cube-shaped building in the centre of the sacred mosque. It's the first house on earth to be built that is made to worship Allah and has been made larger over the years. That's the first thing they do on their pilgrimage. Once they have completed the tower, they come to Safa and Marwa, which are 2 small hills that Hagar ran between to find the water for her and her son when they were left in the desert of Mecca. So the pilgrims walk back and forth 7 times between the 2 hills, and this helps them to remember the important event of Hagar and Ishmael in their Muslim history. The third event that Muslim pilgrims complete is on the plain of Mount Arafat. They travel here to pray, and then they spend the night sleeping on the ground and gather pebbles for the next day. So Mount Arafat was the scene of Prophet Muhammad's final sermon, and you can see in this picture that this is Arafat on the main Hajj day, and this picture here shows pilgrims spending the night outside in the open. So this is the third thing they do is Arafat. On their way back from Arafat, pilgrims stop at the city of Mina, and this is where they throw 7 pebbles at each of the 3 walls of Jamarat. It's believed that this is the spot where the devil appeared and Abraham threw stones to scare him off. So they all, on their journey back from Arafat, they stop here and they throw their 7 pebbles at each of the 3 walls. Traditionally, pilgrims slaughter animals to remember the story of Abraham and Ishmael, but today many pilgrims buy a sacrifice voucher which allows an animal to be slaughtered in their name, so instead of them slaughtering it themselves. One of the final events of the Hajj is shaving heads, and this is known as halak, and it's when all the male pilgrims shave or trim their hair on the day of Eid. Women pilgrims cut the tips of their hair. This day is known as Eid al-Adha and is a festival to celebrate the end of the Hajj. The pilgrims return to Mecca, to the Kabah, and circle it 7 times again. Once all the pilgrims have completed all of the rituals and events at the Hajj, they are given a new title. So a man is now known as a Haji and a woman is known as a Hajjah. So I have gone through lots of information there, and here is your task. So the first thing I want you to do is write the definition of each of these key words. So we've got the Haji, the Hajjah, so what are those? The Ihram, Mecca, Kabah, and Eid al-Adha. You might want to go back through the video if you want help with those, because they are all in there. Once you have done that, you can then go on to this task, which is to name and describe each of the events at the Hajj in order of when they do them, and then you can draw a picture. So I want you to write what the first event is and what it is, and then you can draw a picture of that. To help you with that, you could also watch this video. I'm going to put a link on the blog so it can take you straight to it, and you can watch the video. And while you watch it, I want you to think about its importance to Muslims, because this will then help you answer the final question, which is why is the Hajj important to Muslims, and how do you know? So the first thing you need to do is the definitions, and then the events. You can watch the video before the events if you want, because that might help you. It gives you a little bit more information. And then find out why the Hajj is important to Muslims. All of these answers are in this video and also on the video that I will link, so it should all be there to help you. If you need any help, don't forget to email us and we will answer. And I can't wait to see these sheets when you bring them back in on Friday.